Hey guys, so today I thought I'd talk about skincare products you don't need to use. So, really quick, I just want to say I purchase all these products with my own money. I'll never waste your time with sponsored ads or videos, so if you want to help support the channel, check out nobsbeauty.com, check my Patreon community, or click on the links below. Okay, so we've got Ariana, which is a very, very beautiful name, and I've got a Beanie Baby for her, which is pink, which is pretty, almost as pretty as the name Ariana. That's a really pretty name, so here we go. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully the dogs don't touch Ariana. Okay. So, I've got a lot of skincare products you don't really need. And if you're on a budget, you're better off spending your money on other things. So, these rollers things, these are expensive. I got this, I think, in a set or a beauty box. But some of these are like $100 or like the jade rollers. They're sometimes even more expensive, but you can get them for very cheap too. You can get them for like $20 or like $100 or as much as you really want to spend. So there's really few studies that show these face rollers do anything good for your skin. Sometimes people like to use them to kind of soak in their serum and it might feel good. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you're on a budget and need to focus on your key products, this is kind of an extra thing. The only thing I've really ever seen was, I think, one study that showed sometimes putting pressure on your skin could sometimes help with collagen production. I've only seen one little study on it. That's it. So other than that, I've really never seen anything that said, these are really great for your skin. But if you like using them, nothing wrong with that. But if you're on a budget, save your money and focus on a good sunscreen. So something you don't necessarily need. Another thing you don't necessarily need, lip masks and lip scrubs. Sometimes they feel good. The scrubs, there's a lot of them, and it seems like a lot of smaller brands really focus on those too. To slough off like dead, dry skin cells on your lips. My lips never get that dry where I have flakes coming off of them. I don't know, did any of you guys? They must, because they wouldn't make them. But there's a lot of scrubs or masks, and generally, if you're on a budget, you can soak a washcloth with some water or a little bit of Vaseline and scrub your lips, or even like an old toothbrush. Scrub your lips a little bit with that, and you've just saved lots of money. Some of those lip scrubs are expensive. Some of them taste good, and some people really like to use them, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you're on a budget and need to save money, save that and buy a good vitamin C serum. I'm sneaking in the good things you can spend your money on in this video. So, lip scrubs, not necessarily a big thing. Eye creams. It's another nice thing. People like eye creams. It makes your eyes feel nice. Or sometimes if you've got specific eye issues, fine lines, wrinkles, darkness, puffiness, sometimes then a specific eye product might do the trick. I wouldn't put a retinol that's for your face specifically around your eyes, because your skin around your eyes is very sensitive and your eyes are very sensitive. But generally, if you're just looking for something moisturizing, generally most moisturizers are good enough and safe to use around your eyes. And even some brands sell the exact same moisturizer as an eye cream, aka Neutrogena with their Hydro Boost. Eye cream was identical to the moisturizer. So if you don't have fine lines or wrinkles that you're addressing, generally a moisturizer is just fine, so you can save your money and put it towards a really good face moisturizer instead of an eye cream. But if you need retinol, fine lines, then it's better off to spend money on an eye cream. Something else you don't necessarily need, I don't have a good example of this. Peel-off masks. They've become very popular lately. A lot of brands have them. Basha has a really good selling one. Their black luminizing mask, which you put on and then peel it off. Generally, a lot of times those could actually do more harm than good for your skin. A lot of times the peel-off masks have a lot of denatured alcohol for the drying effect, or polyvinyl alcohol for the peeling effect. Generally, those can dry out your skin and cause sensitization. And a lot of times the yanking effect can sometimes irritate skin too. And overall, your skin doesn't have time to absorb much that's really good in the mask, because it just dries and then you peel it off. So a lot of times your skin doesn't get the benefits of the actual good things in the mask. Instead, you're just putting on things and then peeling it off minutes later. Although it can be fun, and sometimes people like to do it. Feels rewarding to kind of put that on and peel it off. But overall, if you're on a budget or you're trying to get back to the basics with skincare, generally peel-off masks are not the best alternative. There are some better ones that are on the market, but a lot of them do contain a lot of drying alcohols, and your skin just doesn't have time to absorb. This mask isn't a peel-off mask, but it's an interesting mask because it goes on silvery blue, but I will say it didn't do much for my skin. But some people love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing that you might want to save money on, cleansing brushes. This is obviously a Foreo, the silicone brushes. You don't necessarily need a brush or a Clarisonic brush to cleanse and remove sunscreen and makeup. Sometimes people like to use them because they're more efficient. It's quicker. But overall, if you use a cleansing oil and a washcloth, you can remove almost anything. Sunscreens, makeup, hard to remove makeup with just a washcloth and a cleansing oil. You don't necessarily need a brush, although some people like it because of the massage factor. Sometimes the actual bristle brushes can do more damage to skin, kind of weakening the skin barrier. And sometimes your skin can get too clean where it becomes vulnerable. So you don't want your skin feeling too clean or squeaky clean. That means it's been a little bit too cleansed. So sometimes brushes aren't the end all be all, but if you're on a budget, you might want to pass, or you can get something more affordable. Silicone brushes are better, in my opinion, than the bristle brushes. They're much safer, but if you want to use them like once a week or something to get good deep clean, just be cautious that you're removing too much of the good oils from your skin and don't overdo it. If your skin gets squeaky, it means it's been a little bit too clean. So, another thing, face mists. I don't know, this Drunk Elephant one, it feels like a super soaker on your face. I don't know, the mist factor is not light. It's just like a shot of super soaker. I don't know how else to describe it, but face mist, it's a nice way to refresh, cool off. Sometimes it's nice to put on before a hyaluronic serum. But overall, face mists aren't necessarily an integral part of a skincare routine. Not everyone needs a face mist. Most people can do without, but as a little bonus or as a refresh or sometimes to set makeup, it can be a nice addition to a routine. However, not everyone needs a face mist. And overall, generally, you can get by without it if you're on a budget, trying to save money, or really want to splurge on a really nice sunscreen. I'd say go with the nice sunscreen and not the face mist. The sunscreen will do more for you in the long run than the face mist will. But it's a nice part, so if you enjoy it and you want to splurge, go for it. If you're on a budget, it might be a way to save a little bit of money. Another thing, scrubs. I kind of throw these into the same thing as like masks. You really don't need a scrub in general. Sometimes certain scrubs can cause micro tears and weaken your skin barrier and cause more damage than good. If you like that scrubby feeling, go for something very gentle. And then be sure it's something that can actually dissolve. A lot of scrubs use ingredients which aren't great for the water because they don't break down. So be sure to be conscientious about that. Generally, you don't need a face scrub. If you use a good leave-on exfoliant, your skin will have most of the exfoliation it needs. A scrub occasionally, or if it feels good for you, go for it. But if you want to save money, you don't necessarily need a scrub. And separate neck creams are another thing you don't necessarily need unless you have specific issues for your neck that you don't have for your face. Almost all moisturizers that work for your face will work for your neck. My neck is very sensitive, so I do use a separate, it's not necessarily marketed as a neck cream, but a separate lotion for it. But generally, most people don't need a separate neck cream. And then the other thing I want to mention, acne drying lotions. Overall, a lot of those contain high amounts of alcohol. The first ingredient in like the Mario Badescu acne drying lotion is isopropyl alcohol. I personally know a lot of people that swear by them and think that it heals up acne faster, but in the long run, I feel like I've noticed people that use those have more issues with pigmentation issues after the acne heals. I think isopropyl alcohol isn't the best option to go with for dry skin. I think you're better off going with salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, niacinamide, retinol, things like that that are actually proven to help with acne versus isopropyl alcohol, which dries it out, but in the long run might not be the best option for your skin. And one more thing, just face masks in general. They're nice, they feel good, but you take them off, and generally your skin does not have a lot of time to really absorb the good things in there. So if you're on a budget, skip the face mask, get a really good moisturizer, a good niacinamide serum, a good vitamin C product, or a great sunblock. sunscreen. Skip the mask, go with the good sunscreen. If you have a sunscreen that you really like that's expensive, splurge on that and not on the mask, because in the long run, you'll be happier that you splurged on the sunscreen versus the mask, which leaves your skin feeling soft for a little bit, but in the long run, your skin really doesn't have enough time to absorb. So anyway, those are my tips on skincare products you don't necessarily need for your routine. Obviously, if you want to splurge, go for it. But if you're on a strict budget, these are some ways to save a little bit of money here and there and have more for retirement or for good sunscreen. So anyway, I'm interested in hearing from you guys if you have any products you don't need that I didn't mention here. So leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thank you so much.